Have you ever wondered why Egypt is one of the most visited countries in the Middle East? This country certainly holds some of the world's greatest historical secrets. It's even home to the very last ancient wonder of the world. Might we also add that the ancient Egyptians created one of the first peace treaties in the world? There's certainly a lot more to discover, so stick around as we take you on a journey through the land of pharaohs, exploring some intriguing facts that will leave you stunned. 1. Egypt, officially known as the Arab Republic of Egypt, is located northeast of Africa on the Mediterranean Sea. It's bordered by the Red Sea to the east, Libya to the west, Palestine and Israel to the northeast, and Sudan to the south. 2. Whose idea do you think it was to create the toothpaste we use daily? Well, here's your answer. The ancient Egyptians are credited for creating the oldest recipe for toothpaste known to man. This is because the Egyptians, mostly the really wealthy ones, had a thing for oral hygiene and wanted to keep bad breath at bay. The paste was made of salt, flowers, pepper, and mint. 3. Located in Luxor, the Valley of Kings is one of the most prominent sites in Egypt and is named after pharaohs and other Egyptian royalty. Founded in 1867, it's home to over 60 tombs, most of which were constructed between 1056 BC and 1085 BC. 4. No one loves cats as much as the Egyptians do. Cats are treated as sacred deities and royalty. This is because they were considered a form of good luck. They even believed that the mummification of their cats would guarantee their passage into heaven. So, if you have a cat, it may be why you're always in luck, so don't forget to give it a little treat. 5. Just off the western shore of Cairo, Gezira Island is an artificial island created in 1868. During the Second World War, it was one of the major fighting grounds, and the Egyptians even used the prison facilities here to detain British officials. However, in modern times, it's now a popular spot for fun activities like biking and fishing. You can even spot bullet holes from the war eras in some buildings. 6. Here's a funny one. The Egyptians wore fake beards. Most depictions of pharaohs show them with full, long beards, but the truth is that most prefer a bare, clean-shaved face. The beards were mostly worn for religious reasons. There was even a female pharaoh, Hatshepsut, known for wearing a fake beard. Hatshepsut knew that female pharaohs were not always taken seriously, so she pulled this trick, which helped her blend in well. 7. Being one of the 4 deserts in Egypt, the White Desert is located in Farafra, close to Dahab, and is perfect for enjoying a camel ride and even camping. One interesting thing about this desert is that it's ever-changing due to the strong winds and regular rainfall. 8. The Egyptians are all about their gods and goddesses. There are over 2,000 of them. Each of these gods and goddesses symbolizes something. Some common gods include Shu, the god of air, Tefnut, the god of moisture, and Ra, the sun god. It's said that the ancient Egyptians considered even the river Nile as a god. And till this day, so many people who live by the bank of the river offer prayers and gratitude to it every morning. They believe that whoever falls into the river is under its protection and will be returned to land safely no matter what. 9. On the street of Old Corniche, a market is over 100 years old. Originally built in 1890 by Sultan Hussein Kamel, the Old Market of Sharm is the perfect place for shopaholics. You can find anything from spices, clothes, herbal medicine, and more. 10. You've probably seen and heard stories of Egyptian mummies by now, but the process is not the prettiest sight. Before pharaohs could be mummified, their brains had to be removed first. And no, they didn't split their heads open and then proceed to pull out their brains. Instead, it was extracted through the nostrils in a process called exacerbation. However, their hearts were left intact as it was believed that they would need it in the afterlife. 11. It's already clear that Egypt has a rich history, and there's a lot to discover. But did you know there are 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Egypt alone? Yeah, these sites are Abu Simbel, Wadi al-Hitan, Memphis and its necropolis, Abu Mena, ancient Thebes, and historic Cairo. 12. There is one particular figure that is always connected to Egypt's history. Guess who it is? Cleopatra, of course. But here's the tricky part. Cleopatra wasn't Egyptian, but of Greek descent. She was born in Alexandria, but she was from the line of Greek Macedonians known as the Ptolemaic dynasty. Cleopatra isn't Egyptian, but a Greek name that means her father's fame. 13. Egypt's capital city, Cairo, is the largest in the Middle East. But that's not the most interesting fact about this city. Cairo has an artificial island in the form of Zamalek. While it was first developed as a residential zone for high-ranking officers in Khedive Ismail's army, Zamalek has slowly become one of Cairo's most prestigious areas. The streets are lined with luxury shopping centers and venues, including the Gezira Club. 14. There's a special shade of brown, known as mummy brown, made from real Egyptian mummies. This brown color was common among artists, especially in the 16th century. Renaissance artists loved this color so much, and it's believed that some artists like Edward Burne-Jones, Eugene Delacroix, and Sir William Beechey owned some of this paint. 15. We've been discussing mummies a lot, but you probably want to know where to find one. Well, the Egyptian Museum has a lot in store for you. At Tahrir Square in Cairo, founded by King Farouk in 1835, the Egyptian Museum houses more than 120,000 different objects and artifacts. Among these objects, you'll find sarcophagi and, of course, mummies. 16. The ancient Egyptians were way ahead of their time, and surprisingly, they were quite progressive and open-minded in their manner of thinking. It was a normal thing for women to buy and sell properties. They were also free to have their businesses and even claim royal titles. 17. Medinat Habu is a testament to Egypt's rich history, with a mortuary temple adorned with vivid images of military exploits on top of a rugged hill. One of these images gives a peek into the world of Ramses III, who reigned from 1186 to 1155 BC, receiving tributes from conquered Nubian chiefs. 18. These days, children are dressed the minute they're born, and you'll hardly find a toddler running around the streets naked. But this was the norm in ancient Egypt. Children were allowed to go naked until they were about 6 years old, and this was due to the really hot temperatures. But as they grew older, their parents started to put them in simple clothes. Boys were typically seen with their heads shaved, while the girls wore pigtails. 19. Picture a place filled with huge temples, rare jewels, and magnificent sculptures. This is what the Valley of Artisans is all about. Located near Cairo, this part of Egypt has been occupied since around 3000 BC. It's undergone years of building, making it one of Egypt's top archaeological sites. It's a great place to visit if you'd like to learn more about the history of the country and just bask in the wonders of nature. 20. What's the required age for drinking alcohol in your country? It's probably 18 or 21, right? Well, the ancient Egyptians certainly didn't care about that. Both little children and adults drank a lot of beer, as an Egyptian diet was incomplete without beer. They considered it a very nutritious drink and sometimes paid their workers with beer. The twist is the beer was not as intoxicating as today's, so it was quite easy for them to take a lot without worrying about the after effects. They also used beer as libations for their gods, and a part of their worship to them included getting drunk. However, since the arrival of the Islam religion in Egypt in 641 CE, this tradition has now become a thing of the past, as many of the Muslim locals do not drink alcohol. Foreigners and non-Muslims are still allowed to drink in moderation. Still, during the month of Ramadan, all forms of alcohol sales are strictly forbidden. 21. Founded by Alexander the Great in 331 BC, Alexandria is one of the world's oldest cities. The place is a blend of people and cultures well known for their warm hospitality. They take pride in welcoming visitors and love showing off their country to anyone who stops by. 22. Here's another thing that was first carried out by the Egyptians: strikes. The first known strike in the world occurred in Egypt in 1152 BC. Slave labor was at its peak during this time, and when these workers weren't paid, they put their work on hold and refused to continue until payment was made. 23. Located above Tahrir Square in downtown Cairo, the Cairo Tower, designed by the famous French architect Gustave Eiffel, was finished in 1887 as part of a city renewal effort led by Nubar Pasha, the chief minister of finances under Khedive Ismail. Standing at an astonishing height of 187 meters, the tower also has a 56-meter rectangular base made from riveted iron plates. Its upper section has an 8-meter extended platform supporting telescopes, clocks, and scientific observation equipment. 24. Tattoos didn't become a thing in modern times. As a matter of fact, the ancient Egyptians had a whole tattoo culture and have been drawing tattoos for more than 4,000 years. A lot of tattooed mummies, mostly women, have been found by archaeologists. These tattoos are usually in the form of dots and swirls on the chest, legs, and abdomen. 25. Did you know that you can visit a replica of ancient Egypt? That's right. The Pharonic village is an outdoor attraction that brings ancient Egypt to life. Located north of Cairo, it offers a real village tour, intriguing exhibitions, and a chance to dress in traditional ancient Egyptian attire. 26. In 1828, archaeologist Giovanni Battista Belzoni discovered a unique collection of ancient Egyptian papyrus. This unique collection, comprising about 3,500 sheets, some stretching up to 3 meters, was discovered stacked in large wooden crates inside the National Library of Egypt in Cairo. Unfortunately, due to a lack of resources for preservation, these rare historical artifacts have become almost unrecognizable. About 2,000 sheets have turned to dust. Some are no longer visible as they were initially glued to walls upon discovery. However, about 1,000 pieces remain intact and are displayed at Cairo's Papyrus Museum. 27. Be aware of potential bad luck if you explore King Tutankhamun's tomb, Egypt's most popular tourist attraction and a captivating archaeological find. In November 1922, shortly after the tomb's excavation, Lord Carnarvon's life was cut short due to an infected mosquito bite, sparking rumors that disturbing King Tut's remains would bring misfortune. Tutankhamun gained celebrity status during his short lifetime, ascending to the throne at the tender age of 8 or 9 and unexpectedly passing away at 18 or 19. 28. The Temple of Horus, an Egyptian temple that has stood for over 2,000 years, is a popular spot in Ras Mohammed National Park. Located on a small peninsula in South Sinai, the park boasts Egypt's most stunning coral reefs, making it a popular destination for divers, snorkelers, families, and independent travelers seeking a blend of history and sunshine. When you go underwater, you'll find many amazing things, including shipwrecks, sharks, green turtles, and schools of fish. Remember to bring a camera when you're visiting, as there are many cute things to take pictures of. 29. We all know that Cleopatra is considered to be a very beautiful woman, but what exactly was the secret to her glorious beauty? Well, she had a whole lot of beauty secrets. Still, the strangest of them all, noted by Pliny in National History, was donkey milk baths. She believed these baths kept her skin youthful and supple, while camel's milk baths were thought to maintain freshness and health. Interestingly, donkey milk is still used in some luxury skincare products today, suggesting Cleopatra might have had a point. 30. Old Cairo is home to many mosques, churches, and ancient Coptic monasteries, making it a popular tourist destination where you can bask in thousands of years of history. Once called Babylon by Alexander the Great's soldiers, the area went through a massive transformation when Alexander's general, Ptolemy, took charge and renamed it Alexandria. Following a period of Roman control, Alexandria was returned to the Egyptians around 340 BC during the reign of King Nectanebo II. 31. Many people believe that the ancient Egyptians were fond of using chariots and horses in war, and you probably think so, but what if we told you that is actually really wrong? Of course, they knew how to whip their horses. However, horses were introduced to Egyptian society relatively late, and the military didn't heavily depend on them. In 1274 BC, Ramses II led an army of 120,000 new soldiers into battle, with only 3,500 cavalry on horseback. These cavalry members were not professional soldiers. They were recruited from various walks of life in Egypt, including farmers and traders. Interestingly, when called up for duty, they were instructed to bring their farming tools. 32. A particular mosque in Egypt is built right on top of another mosque, the Mosque of Muhammad Ali. Located in Alexandria, this mosque was built by Ottoman rulers on the site of an older mosque dating back to the 12th century, which it gets its name. At first, they intended to use it as an Islamic school, but it has assumed the role of an actual mosque since it was completed in 1824. You can find it in Alexandria's Azbekia district, neighbors with the Kate Bay Citadel and the catacombs of Qam el-Shakafa. 33. There are pyramids all over Egypt, but who exactly started this? Pharaoh Djoser is credited with constructing Egypt's very first pyramid, known as the Step Pyramid of Djoser. This historic monument, located not far from Cairo in Saqqara, is proof of Djoser's achievements and is open to visitors. 34. Siwa Oasis, located between the Qattara Depression and the Egyptian Sand Sea in western Egypt, is famous for being the ancient center of prophecy. In fact, Alexander the Great visited the Oracle of Amun here to see confirmation of his lineage as the son of Amun. Today, Siwa is home to 6,500 people, with 3,000 residing in local palm groves. It's one of Egypt's most hidden towns, accessible only via dirt tracks. 35. In ancient Egypt, many men engaged in physically demanding construction work, often resulting in deformities in their upper forearms. They had to perform really stressful tasks like carrying large limestone blocked with ropes, and this often caused injuries for them. A tomb near Luxor reveals an individual with his right arm cut above the elbow and replaced with a wooden peg. It's believed he sustained the injury while at work, possibly from a stone falling on his arm when a rope broke, causing him to fall on its edge. Outro. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. Let us know your thoughts about this video in the comments section below, and don't forget to like and share.